welcome to our deep dive into mindfulness obstacles. You shared Chapter 10 of Fully Present with us,
Yeah.
and we're excited to unpack its insights on those hurdles we encounter on the path to mindfulness.
It's not just about learning meditation techniques.
Right.
It's about understanding those very human things that trip us up along the way.
And you specifically highlighted a passage about struggling with sleepiness during meditation. Fully Present suggests this might not just be about fatigue, but a clever defense mechanism.
Yeah.
Almost like our minds are saying, nope, not dealing with that right now. Let's just take a nap. What do you make of that?
Oh, it's fascinating, isn't it?
Yeah.
The book delves into how our temperament,
Yeah.
our innate way of reacting to the world, plays a role. For example, someone with high harm avoidance.
Yeah.
Those who are naturally more cautious and anxious
Right.
might experience sleepiness as a way of avoiding difficult emotions that surface during meditation.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
It's like our biology is setting us up for specific obstacles.
Yeah.
You mentioned that you often feel doubt during meditation.
Mm-hmm.
Could that be tied to temperament too?
Absolutely. The book highlights how people with high reward dependence, who thrive on external validation, might experience more self-criticism and doubt during solo practice. It's like that inner critic is saying, am I doing this right? Is anyone impressed?
So it's almost like we're predisposed to get tripped up in specific ways.
Yeah.
The book uses this intriguing analogy of a mountain climber. Just like a climber faces treacherous paths and unexpected storms, we encounter obstacles on our path to mindfulness.
I like that analogy.
Yeah.
It reminds us that those obstacles are part of the journey. Each one presents an opportunity for self-discovery, a chance to understand our own inner workings better.
Instead of seeing them as failures, we can see them as challenges to overcome, making the journey more meaningful and the stories more interesting.
Right?
Speaking of challenges, let's dive into some specific obstacles the book covers, starting with that sleepiness you mentioned.
Sure. The book suggests that apart from basic fatigue, sleepiness can also stem from our minds associating meditation with rest.
Interesting.
And yet this, sleepy states can actually arise from concentration itself.
This idea that focusing intently could lead to sleepiness is really counterintuitive.
It is a little bit, yeah.
How does the book explain this?
Well, it suggests that as we concentrate, our brain waves slow down, similar to what happens when we're drifting off to sleep. And if we're already predisposed to sleepiness due to temperament or lack of sleep, it can be even harder to stay awake.
So what can we do when those eyelids start to feel heavy during meditation?
The book offers some practical antidotes like opening your eyes, taking deeper breaths, or even switching to walking meditation. It's about finding what works best for you. But the most important thing, as with any obstacle, is to notice those physical sensations of sleepiness without judgment.
Just observing it as it is without getting caught up in the story of, I'm a bad meditator because I'm falling asleep.
Exactly. Now, another obstacle you might find relatable, given your temperament, is restlessness. The book suggests that removing distractions, which is inherent in meditation, can actually amplify the restlessness we experience in everyday life. It's like suddenly all those thoughts we usually push aside are front and center.
Oh, I know that feeling all too well.
Yeah.
So how can we navigate this particular obstacle, especially during meditation?
Well, the book suggests focusing on relaxing the body, perhaps starting with a body scan meditation. It also recommends trying a more open meditation style like sound awareness, which might feel less restrictive for those with a tendency towards restlessness. And just like with sleepiness, paying attention to the energy and sensations of restlessness without judgment is key.
So instead of trying to force those restless thoughts away, we can acknowledge them and simply observe how they feel in the body.
Precisely. Sometimes, though, both sleepiness and restlessness can actually mask deeper emotions.
Interesting.
The book tells a story of Mary, an editor, who realized her restlessness was actually covering up hurt and confusion about her daughter.
That's a powerful reminder that these obstacles can be signals pointing to unresolved emotions. It reminds me of something you mentioned earlier, struggling with doubt during your practice.
Right.
What causes this doubt to surface?
The book points out that doubt is a natural part of learning anything new, just like when you were learning to play tennis. You're bound to have questions and moments of frustration. It's like that inner critic saying, am I doing this right? Is this even worth it?
So how do we quiet that inner critic and move forward with our practice despite those doubts?
The book suggests reconnecting with your initial motivation for meditating.
Okay.
Why did you start this practice in the first place?
Yeah.
What were you hoping to gain?
Right.
The book tells the story of Jack, an attorney, who overcame his doubt by remembering his motivation, improving his heart health, and anger management.
So it's about remembering the why behind our actions, that deeper purpose that keeps us going even when doubt creeps in.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like remembering why you set out on that mountain climb in the first place.
And just like a mountain climber might encounter unexpected detours and challenging terrain, we might find ourselves battling a different obstacle desire. This isn't just about material cravings.
Right.
It can be a desire for specific meditation experiences taking us out of the present moment.
It's like we're chasing a past experience instead of being open to what's happening right now. For example, you might have had a particularly blissful meditation session one day, and now you're constantly striving to recreate that feeling.
But as we know, clinging to expectations can lead to disappointment. So how do we approach this desire for specific experiences in our practice?
The book suggests gently bringing your attention back to the present moment.
Okay.
Reconnecting with your breath, your body, and the sounds around you. It's about noticing the physical sensations of craving that clutching or tightening in your body, and then making a conscious choice from a place of awareness.
It's like the book's analogy of walking into a bakery and seeing the most amazing chocolate chip cookie. That craving kicks in, but mindfulness helps us pause and ask, do I really want that cookie right now, or am I just reacting to a craving?
That's a great way to put it.
Yeah.
It's about creating space between impulse and action, allowing you to make choices aligned with your values.
That's a powerful distinction.
It is.
So we've covered sleepiness, restlessness, doubt, and desire. What other common obstacles does the book delve into?
Well, the book then dives into aversion, which encompasses those unpleasant feelings like displeasure, irritation, or even anger.
Oh, I definitely know that feeling. It's like that resistance that pops up when things aren't going our way.
Right.
How does the book suggest we handle those moments, especially during meditation?
Well, the book suggests that aversion often arises when meditation dredges up difficult memories or negative anticipations, or even an aversion to the practice itself. It can feel like our minds are screaming, "Get me out of here!"
So it's not just external things that we have an aversion to. It can be internal as well.
Exactly. The book highlights the importance of cultivating mindfulness of the physical sensations of aversion. What does it feel like in the body? Where do you feel it?
So instead of pushing those feelings away, we can actually turn towards them and investigate them with curiosity.
Yes, precisely. And alongside that, the book encourages practicing loving kindness towards ourselves, acknowledging that it's okay to feel this way.
Yeah.
It reminds us that we're human and difficult emotions are part of the human experience.
That's a good reminder. The book shares a story about Alexandra, an environmentalist who noticed her anger rising during an argument with her husband. Because she was aware of it, she was able to choose a different response instead of lashing out.
That's a great example of how the skills we cultivate during meditation can translate into real-life situations.
Right.
By bringing awareness to our emotions, we create a space between stimulus and response, giving us the power to choose how we react.
That reminds me of something you mentioned earlier about how our temperament can make us more prone to certain obstacles. For example, if someone is naturally prone to boredom, how might that show up during meditation?
That's a great question. The book addresses boredom head-on, acknowledging that meditation can feel incredibly dull compared to the constant stimulation of our modern world. It's like our minds are asking, is this all there is?
You know, I've actually experienced that myself.
Yeah.
Sometimes the quiet stillness of meditation can feel almost too much to handle.
Yeah.
What does the book suggest we do when boredom sets in?
It recommends trying to cultivate a sense of curiosity and focus, even in the simplest things. Remember those intricate sensations in your feet during walking meditation that we discussed earlier?
Right.
It's about tapping into that same sense of wonder and seeing the ordinary with fresh eyes.
So even boredom can be an opportunity for discovery if we approach it with the right mindset.
Absolutely. And speaking of challenging mindsets, the book delves into worry and anxiety, those unwelcome guests that can pop up anytime, even during meditation.
It's like those worries we normally try to suppress, suddenly bubble to the surface when we sit down to meditate.
Exactly. And the book acknowledges that this is a common experience.
Yeah.
It suggests asking ourselves some helpful questions when worry arises. Is this worry true? Am I okay right now? These questions help ground us in the present moment and remind us that we're safe even if our minds are projecting into the future.
So it's about bringing ourselves back to the here and now, focusing on what is actually happening, rather than getting lost in hypothetical worries.
Yes, and the book also encourages us to remember times when we don't feel anxious. It's a reminder that those feelings are temporary.
Right.
They come and go like waves in the ocean.
That's a helpful perspective.
Yeah.
It reminds me of the mountain climber analogy. It's not about having a perfect obstacle-free journey, but learning from the challenges,
Yeah.
building resilience, and emerging stronger on the other side.
That's a great point. The book emphasizes that obstacles are inherent in the human experience,
Yeah.
both on and off the meditation cushion. It's not about eliminating them entirely,
Right.
but rather about learning to navigate them skillfully.
So it's more about building a relationship with our obstacles rather than trying to fight them off.
Exactly. Think of it like this.
Okay.
Every time you encounter an obstacle and work through it, you're gaining valuable experience that helps you grow and become a more skillful climber, so to speak.
That makes a lot of sense. So we covered a lot of ground exploring these internal obstacles.
Yeah.
But fully present doesn't stop there, does it?
You're right. Chapter 11 takes things in a fascinating new direction, moving beyond personal practice to explore how mindfulness can be applied in action to create a more mindful world.
Now this is where it gets really exciting. What kind of shift does the book suggest?
It starts with this powerful image of an iceberg.
Okay.
Above the surface are our actions, our conscious thoughts and feelings. But beneath the surface lies a vast, unseen realm of unconscious patterns and motivations that drive our behavior.
That's a great visual. So how does mindfulness play into this?
Mindfulness, according to the book, helps us uncover what lies beneath the surface, bringing awareness to those unconscious patterns and motivations that shape our lives. It's like becoming aware of the deeper currents that influence how we think, speak, and act.
So it's about recognizing that there's more to us than meets the eye.
Yeah.
And mindfulness helps us access those deeper levels.
Exactly. And as we delve deeper, we begin to see that we're not isolated islands, but rather interconnected beings, part of a larger web of life.
This reminds me of something you mentioned earlier about the book's emphasis on our interconnectedness.
Right.
How did that tie into this idea of a mindful world?
The book talks about this as our dependent nature, the understanding that we're interconnected with each other, the planet, and the entire universe.
Right.
And from this understanding, wisdom and compassion naturally arise.
Because how can you harm a part of yourself?
Exactly.
When we see ourselves as interconnected, harming others becomes harming ourselves.
Exactly. The book suggests that mindfulness can lead to a kind of metabiological evolution, a shift in consciousness where wisdom and compassion become the driving forces behind our actions.
That's a powerful concept. It's like evolving beyond self-centeredness to a more expansive and interconnected view of ourselves and the world.
It is. And the book specifically highlights two areas where this shift can be put into action, communication, and institutions.
Okay, let's start with communication. What does mindful communication look like?
The book emphasizes mindful speaking and listening,
Okay.
which goes beyond simply exchanging words. It's about truly being present with the other person listening with our full attention and speaking from a place of authenticity and kindness.
So it's not just about what we say, but how we say it and how we listen.
Precisely. And the book delves into some fascinating research on the impact of mindful communication.
Okay.
It turns out that it can improve decision-making, reduce conflict, and even foster cross-cultural understanding.
That's amazing. It's fascinating how something as simple as paying attention can have such profound effects on our interactions.
Yeah.
Now, how does the book connect mindfulness to institutions? That seems like a big leap.
It might seem like a stretch, but the book makes a compelling case. It highlights how schools are incorporating mindfulness into their curricula with remarkable results.
That's encouraging. What kind of results are we talking about?
Well, research has shown that mindfulness can improve attention, reduce stress, and enhance learning in students of all ages.
Wow, that's impressive. And it's not just schools. The book mentions businesses embracing mindfulness as well, right?
You're absolutely right. The book highlights companies like Green Mountain Coffee, which has integrated mindfulness into its workplace culture.
Yeah.
They offer meditation classes, have dedicated meditation spaces, and consistently rank high on lists of best places to work.
So it seems that mindfulness is beneficial not just for personal well-being, but also for organizational success.
Precisely. And this brings us back to the book's central message,
Right.
which is that mindfulness is about more than just individual transformation. It has the potential to create a kinder, more compassionate world.
That's a powerful message.
Right.
And it's not just a theoretical concept.
Right.
The book provides concrete examples of how this is already happening.
Exactly. It's not just about feeling calmer and less stressed. It's about creating a more just and compassionate world.
That's inspiring.
It is, isn't it? The book ends with a beautiful quote by Henry James. There are three things important in life. The first is to be kind. The second is to be kind. The third is to be kind.
What a beautiful sentiment. It really drives home the point that Kindness is at the heart of a mindful life, and it's something we can all cultivate.
Absolutely. And it's a reminder that we can choose kindness in every interaction, every moment of every day.
So as we wrap up our exploration of mindfulness obstacles, both internal and external, what key takeaways stand out to you? For me, it's this shift from seeing mindfulness as purely personal to recognizing its potential for social change.
Yeah.
It's not just about individual peace. It's about collective awakening and creating a more just and compassionate world.
I completely agree. It's about understanding our interconnectedness and acting from that place of understanding, recognizing that our actions have ripple effects that extend far beyond ourselves.
It's like that butterfly effect, where a small change in one place can have a significant impact elsewhere.
Precisely. And fully present doesn't give us all the answers,
Right.
but it opens up new possibilities and sparks a sense of curiosity and hope.
It definitely does. It makes you wonder what a truly mindful society would look like. What systems might we change? What collective blind spots could mindfulness illuminate?
That's a profound question. Maybe mindfulness could help us see more clearly those systems and structures that perpetuate suffering, both for ourselves and for others. It could empower us to challenge those systems and create more just and equitable ways of living.
It's almost like mindfulness gives us a new lens through which to view the world, allowing us to see things we might have missed before.
Exactly. It's about cultivating a deeper awareness of ourselves,
Yeah.
our relationships, and the systems we're a part of.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into the world of mindfulness obstacles, both internal and external, I'm left feeling both challenged and incredibly inspired. The challenges are real, both internal and external, but fully present reminds us that mindfulness equips us to meet those challenges with awareness,
Right.
compassion, and a commitment to creating a better world.
It's a journey, and it's not always easy. But every step we take, every obstacle we overcome, is a step toward greater wisdom, kindness, and connection. Just like that mountain climber, we learn and grow from each challenge we encounter along the path.
You know, at the beginning of this deep dive, you mentioned struggling with sleepiness during meditation.
Yeah.
What are you taking away from this exploration that might help you navigate that specific obstacle?
Well, I'm realizing that my tendency towards sleepiness might stem from a combination of factors. My temperament, maybe not getting enough sleep, and perhaps even my mind associating meditation with rest.
Right.
But instead of getting frustrated with myself, I can approach it with curiosity and experiment with the antidotes we talked about, like opening my eyes or focusing on my breath. And most importantly, I can practice self-compassion, remembering that it's okay to experience these challenges. It's all part of the process.
That's a great takeaway.
All right.
And remember, you're not alone on this path. We're all in this together, learning and growing, supporting each other, and creating a more mindful world, one breath, one step, one moment at a time.